Infrared saunas, which is my business, which is our business. Infrared saunas are great, and they're not just another wellness trend. I know there's a lot of debate. Are they really good for you? Are they meant to stay here? And for those that don't know, an infrared sauna is like a sauna. It's a box, essentially, but rather than having one central element, one central oven, which is used for fire, electricity, you have so-called infrared heaters. Infrared is part of the invisible light spectrum, near, middle, far infrared, that work differently, but essentially they heat your core temperature. So instead of having 70, 80, 90, 100 degrees, such for instance as in Russian banyas or really hot Finnish saunas, you have lower temperatures, 40 to 60 degrees. You can stay in there for a minimum of 20 minutes, up to 40 minutes, and you use actually some of the unique benefits. Although it's artificially created, they're part of Mother Nature. So it's part of the sunlight. It's not going to cause you any aging effects. In fact, quite the opposite. It sort of helps you really break that oxidative stress in your body. And it's part of Mother Nature. It's been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The technology has been around and is, for instance, also used in newborn babies. Infrared was first identified or, I think really explored in Japanese hospitals. And it still is actually used to warm newborn babies when they come out of the mother. And it heats the core instead of the air. We don't need 60 degrees, we don't need 70 degrees, we don't need 80 degrees. Because you're staying in there longer and the wavelength is in line with our human wavelength, you still get the same health benefits, plus a few extra ones. And it's a really nice and gentle experience if someone doesn't like the hot traditional saunas. So why are they here to stay? Why do we need an infrared sauna? Why can we just not go back to the traditional saunas? Why can we not use wood in order to fire them? And it's one of the probably hottest research topics at the moment when it comes to figuring out why infrared actually works. And at the end of last year, a very, very well-known study came out. She was also interviewed by Rhonda Patrick, who we all know as a very, very strong sauna advocate. And it used the so-called term of whole body hypothermia. So for those that don't know, hypothermia means raising your core temperature artificially. When we have a fever, it means our body is fighting. A fever is a good thing. It really shows that the immune system is working, white blood cells are being produced. And our body is actually fighting a bacteria or a disease. And you get the same effect in saunas in general, but specifically in infrared saunas. And in fact, infrared technology is also used in cancer therapy. Hypothermic treatments are part of Germany's advancement when it comes to cancer therapy. Our saunas don't do that, and I cannot recommend doing that, but it's similar technology. And this study basically looked at using whole body hypothermia, using an infrared sauna, and raising the core temperature beyond what's comfortable. The head was outside, there was sort of cooling, there was wet cloth on the face constantly in order to make sure that the person actually could stay in the sauna for that long. And the common analogy was really that heat and sweat, although it's uncomfortable, seems to have a thermoregulatory effect on the human body. There's not a lot of evidence really on why that is, so there's more research required, but depression markers went down severely. And therefore, it's very promising to actually really understand how infrared therapy can be used, not just as a biohack, such as the ones like Ben Greenfield or Dr. Ollie use on a daily basis, but how it can really make a difference when it comes to cancer therapies and medical appliances. At the moment, there's a similar study, uses the same technology, and it looks specifically at Alzheimer. I think most of you will actually know that there was a very famous study from Finland using traditional saunas, where they sort of looked at, the frequency of sauna use and the benefits. And, for those that don't know, if you use a sauna 4 to 7 times, your cardiovascular disease risk goes down 48%, your all-cause mortality risk goes down 40%. So there really isn't any reason to not use a sauna. I know it may be uncomfortable, I know it may not be great, but really, really try to get in there. So my appeal for you today, go out there, get a sauna, go in the ice bath and have fun. And the same is true with infrared technology. Although there's more research to be done, we can see that there's a lot of evidence building up around thermoregulatory effects and the effects of artificially creating heat stress in the body, raising the temperature beyond what's comfortable. It has severe detoxification effects. It's actually used in firefighter centers in the US at the moment because firefighters are exposed to heavy chemicals, heavy toxins, and we see cancer rates actually skyrocketing. There are a couple of really famous detoxification protocols. They're also mentioned in the Biohacker's Handbook, which uses a niacin detox. It's really a high intake of niacin combined with exercise combined with infrared saunas for an extended period of time. And sweating in general is good. I try to sweat once a day. I'd encourage everyone to do the same. And then infrared saunas are a great way because there's only a 20 minutes preheating time. You can stack different health modalities. Those that were at our booth know we can bring in salt therapy. You can bring in red light therapy. We can use aromatherapy. So, it's a really nice and social experience. You can do it with your friends, but you can combine all these different health therapies to really make sure that it's the most efficient use of your time.